What's going on, guys? My name is Luke, 26 years old, based out of Bangkok, Thailand, and I'm an online fitness coach. And you guys have most likely been seeing a lot of influencers and coaches online on the internet making insane transformations, and you probably scroll and see this all the time, like myself. And you may be assuming that they're just all on steroids and maybe they're just lucky or whatever you may be going on throughout your mind. But the reality is that anyone at almost any age can absolutely get jacked within like 90 to 180 days. So, and without using steroids and without any amount of luck whatsoever. So, yeah, I have some notes here. I'm going to go through them briefly. So, I'm been training for 10 years, just about, and I'm certified, which certifications don't really mean much personally. I think experience matters the most, but I add that in there anyways. Certified with the NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, and I was previously coached with UFC Gym in Miami. And yeah, along the way, so originally from New York City, along the way I've had world-class mentors. So I used to compete competitively in powerlifting, and I've trained with IFBB pros in Miami. So, and I've also had calisthenics mentors in Miami as well. Some world-class athletes. So, as is currently, I maintain about 10% body fat year-round and naturally. So, yeah, while working in Miami, while coaching in Miami with UFC, all of my clients were high performance guys. So it basically forced me to understand the struggle of balancing family life, career, and just overall limited time. So now I find myself in the same position, having traveled honestly around the world. I've lived in Israel for extended periods of time. I've lived in New York City, Miami, and now here in Thailand in Bangkok. So I was basically forced to come up with something versatile and creative to fit the needs of myself and all these high performance clients I had that, limited time and even limited resources. So so if you're the type of guy that's doesn't like to take off his shirt at the beach, at the pool while he's on vacation, then this video is certainly for you. And also, if you're the type of guy that's basically just trying to increase his energy day to day, increase his testosterone, this video is definitely for you. And if you're also the type of guy that just wants to increase his aura and increase his authority, this video is fucking for you, man. So, and this video is also not going to be like a generic routine. This isn't going to be some spreadsheet, and I'm not going to ask you to buy my course or any of that bullshit by the end of it. So yeah, like over the next 10 to 20 minutes, I'm just going to go through. What I did was I put in Grok AI, XAI, how to basically get jacked in 90 days. And I took that entire prompt from A to Z, and I consolidated it and added some of my own notes, and I'm going to basically be going through it with you guys together. And then at the end of the video, I have my own framework that I use for myself and all my clients that I'm just going to give to you guys completely free. So yeah, let's dive right in. So I'm going to preface this also before I present here. I had a conversation, funny enough, today. I'm in the process of moving. I had a conversation with a Korean guy at an outdoor gym and in the city center over here in Bangkok. And I wanted to train pull-ups. We saw each other. We started doing a little workout together. And he's asking me questions about fitness and calisthenics and bodyweight exercises and whatnot. He's trying to get in better shape. And we had this discussion of how, like, when we tried learning, not even 5 years ago, there was, and this genuinely pisses me off, because 5 years ago, there was almost no information online about how, like, I was very interested in calisthenics at the time. And there was almost no information on calisthenics and how to implement weighted body weight exercise and things of these sorts. And now there's just so much information, but you struggle to find the right information. But back then, less than 5 years ago, we couldn't find anything. So we're on opposite ends of the spectrum now in terms of information. But now there's people that are absolutely unqualified that are trying to teach people, and it's the most frustrating shit. I come across it every single day, just people that label themselves as experts in certain fields and niches, but they're absolute garbage. So, like I said before, this certification I got that I spent hundreds of dollars on and spent a couple months doing just to work in a gym means absolutely nothing. So you'll even see trainers that are out of shape in commercial gyms, which is unfortunate. But anyways, let's go into the presentation. I'm going to screen record right now so you guys can see it right around here. So this is my proof. So this is my client, Ryan. He's in high ticket sales, has meetings all the time. I have a one-on-one interview with him as well. But the guy started out skinny fat, as you can see here. Let me put this down. So he started out skinny fat, and since we started working together, the guy recomped about maybe 15 pounds roughly. We have the data, I just can't remember exactly. I think he was about 15 pounds exactly, 7 kilos or so. And now he's just, his overall energy and everything is monumentally better. He even stated that, like, the way he shows up to meetings has improved, which is awesome. I love to hear. Then we have here my client, Anthony. Now, before I even go into this guy, fast forward to today. He's competing in marathons. He's a trainer that goes to people's houses, and he's just, his life is different. Just put it that way, simply say. So, yeah, so Anthony over here, he gained 20 pounds. So about 10 kilos, 9 kilos within 180 days. So that's 6 months. And he was seeing insane changes even before then. So in 90 days, 1 month, he was transforming. But at the 180 day mark here, he gained 20 pounds. You can see he didn't even, he's lost in that shirt. It's a trash bag. Now he's freaking shirtless everywhere. So gotta tell him to put his shirt back on. And yeah, this is myself. So this was me in 2021. I have 10 years of experience, but about 4 years ago-ish, I had a head injury, which set my life so far back, lost my health, lost all my fitness progress in powerlifting, and yeah, I just lost everything. I look like I just came out of like war right here. But yeah, so this is present day. So let's move on. So I'm not gonna go through this again. I've already went through this with you guys. Let's talk about the truth about getting jacked that nobody tells you. So you can absolutely get jacked without spending 2 hours in the gym every day and without giving up your favorite foods, and all while simultaneously keeping results year-round. So most men aren't capable of doing this because they don't understand the most optimal ways to structure training to support goals that shift over time, firstly, and maintain an effective diet and maintain an effective sleep schedule. So these 3 things. And this right here, if you guys don't already know, this is Dan Pena. He's in his 80s, he's a billionaire, absolute unit. I'd consider him a mentor of mine. And there's 2 quotes that I go by, and I think they translate extremely well into fitness. And that is, you have 2 times to make a first impression: when you walk in the room and when you open your mouth. It's fucking powerful. And then secondly, what gets measured gets accomplished. That is a testament to life in general. If you want to progress in anything, you should have the data. Now, let's go into the training fundamentals for getting jacked. I'm going to zoom in here. Here's some photos of me at the gym, by the way. Those are pull-ups, and that's a Smith machine incline press. S-tier movements, very necessary when you're trying to get a good physique. So, progressive overload. So gradually increase weight, reps, or intensity. So again, guys, this may seem very boring and generic, which it is for the next 10 minutes before I go into my framework, but this is factual information. I'm giving my 2 cents on it and just going through each point. I'll go through it briefly. So progressive overload, gradually increase reps, weight, or intensity to challenge muscles and drive growth. Aim for small, consistent progress, 2 to 5% increase weekly. We focus on compound movements, multi-joint exercises, squat, deadlift, bench press, to engage multiple muscle groups and maximize strength and size. Those are powerlifting movements. They're not completely necessary, but they're good to have in a routine. I would say that you can greatly progress with those movements as well. Hypertrophy rep range, so training in the 6 to 15 rep range for most sets, using 70 to 85% of your 1 rep max to optimize muscle growth. Absolutely true. Now, training frequency, hitting each muscle group 2 to 3 times per week, full body, upper, lower, or push-pull leg split to maximize gains. Yes. Rest intervals, 1 to 2 minutes between accessory sets, 2 to 3 minutes for heavy compound lifts to balance recovery and intensity. Absolutely. And proper form. We want to use correct technique to target muscles effectively and prevent injury. Consider coaching or video analysis to refine form. Very, very true. You want to record yourself when doing lifts, especially at the beginning. Even myself now helps me perfect movements to this day. Then we go on to program consistency. Follow a structured program for 8 to 12 weeks, but vary exercises or rep schemes periodically to prevent plateaus. So your body does absolutely adapt and things need to be shifted. I do things every 8 to 12 weeks for myself and all my clients included. So recovery management, we allow 48 to 72 hours between training the same muscle group, and we support recovery with 7 to 9 hours of sleep and stress management, which we have our own category on in a bit. Next, nutrition fundamentals for getting jacked. We have calculating maintenance calories. So I'm not going to overwhelm you guys with all these math equations and all this. It's unnecessary to do right now. We're just getting the fundamentals down. But yes, this is something you would want to do with a coach, or you just do on your own. You would download MyFitnessPal and it walks you through it all. It'll calculate it for you. It's your total daily energy expenditure, your TDEE, which is important for understanding your maintenance calories. It is essential. So again, the data, essential. Calorie surplus, consuming 250 to 500 calories above your maintenance level daily to support muscle group. Yes, that is for those that are trying to gain weight and muscle. Caloric deficit, this is when you are cutting. You want to consume 250 to 500 calories below maintenance to promote fat loss and minimize muscle loss while also making gains in strength, if possible, eating adequate protein. So caloric deficit, we just went over that. High protein intake, aim for 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight daily. So an example would be 140 to 200 grams of protein for a 200-pound male. So this is going to drive muscle repair and hypertrophy, Sources would be chicken, beef, fish, eggs, whole foods, as always. Balanced macronutrients, so we target 40 to 50% carbohydrates, 30 to 40% protein, 20 to 30% fats, adjusted based on energy levels and body composition goals. So meal timing, We are fasting throughout the day. I love fasting personally. This increases mental acuity. So eating light 2 to 3 hours before workouts will improve energy performance, certainly. You want to include 20 to 40 grams of protein post-workout, the anabolic window, within 1 to 2 hours for recovery. That is very useful to do. And you'll also be depleted of a lot of nutrients and starving, like myself when I finish my workouts. So we want to focus on nutrient-dense foods. So prioritizing whole foods like fruits, whole grains, and healthy fats. Avocados, nuts, Greek yogurt, excellent foods for micronutrients that support health and performance. And with hydration, we want to drink 1/2 to 1 ounce of water per pound of body weight daily. So I like to just make it simple. 1 gallon is sufficient, and also consider spring water tap is in most places not good enough. And supplements. So this is optional. You can use whey protein for convenience. People tend to think that whey protein is some magical thing that's necessary when they start working out and dieting and having a routine. But it's simply for convenience. If you can't get enough protein from your chicken or your eggs or your beef for the day, then you quickly make a shake and that's done. Or you do it when you're trying to gain weight as well. So, yes. Also, creatine monohydrate is a staple. It is essential, I'd say, for anyone. Even if you're bulking or cutting, you're increasing the efficiency of your body and oxygen delivery to your muscles through water. It's a creatine, highly studied supplement. Just drink enough water. Take the 5 to 10 grams daily. It's gonna change the game. For me, I'd say it increases my performance 20 to 30%. No joke. It's different. For some people, it's not as much. For me, I notice I get 20 to 30% more reps and even strength on some movements. But definitely reps and endurance. I just feel better on it as well. It gives you a more full aesthetic, like just a more well-rounded, how would I say this, like aesthetic, yeah. So that would be for strength and recovery as well. And sardines are the go-to. Guys, do not take fish oil pills. They are 90% of them are sourced terribly and they're not really bioavailable. So meaning like you'll take them, but your body's not utilizing them. Maybe it's using 10% of the amount that's on the bottle labeled that you're buying. In reality, sardines, 1 can of sardines is loaded. It's like 3 to 4 times the amount of EPA and DHA that you get from these pills. And honestly, I love them. They're good now and they're a staple of my diet. You get the wild caught ones as well. And they're extremely important for joints, your joint health, and even like your focus, believe it or not. Fish oil is powerful. So now here we go to sleep fundamentals for getting jacked. So this is very basic stuff, but I'm gonna go through it anyways because this, especially with when we talk about, when we talk about high performance guys, there's guys, I understand the need to work hard, but if you're gonna take on another task, a difficult task like this, and you're putting your body through trauma, you need to optimize this. This needs to be optimized. So nobody here is taking steroids. Nobody. We're all natural here. I don't take anything. All my clients were natural. And when you're natural, your body needs to recover naturally. So meaning your sleep is the sole proprietor for that. We're gonna go through it in depth, but yes, this is the most overlooked thing, especially with all these high performance guys. They always neglect it. And it can be frustrating to get a new habit down for this and perfecting it. So muscle recovery and growth. Yes, sleep triggers muscle protein synthesis and repair through the release of growth hormone. This is during deep sleep. Of course, we want 7 to 9 hours nightly to maximize the recovery. So this is hormonal optimization. Adequate sleep boosts testosterone and IGF-1 levels. These are both essential for hypertrophy. So poor sleep can actually reduce testosterone by up to 20%. That's just going to hinder you in all areas of life as a man. If your testosterone is low, your fitness is low, your productivity is low, your mental acuity is low, your energy, your baseline energy is low. Why would you want to just get less than 6 hours every day? This makes no sense. Less than 7 hours a day, especially when you're dedicated and you're focused on improving your training and your dieting, and then you just neglect the sleep. Don't do that. Don't do it. Energy and performance. So, quality sleep enhances strength, endurance, and focus during workouts. So, this I notice to this day, I will say. If I'm sleep deprived, 6 hours or less, when I go to the gym, because I rarely ever miss, when I go to the gym, sleep deprived, I have a harder time. Of course, I'm less powerful, but I have a harder time focusing on the contraction of each muscle. So the mind-muscle connection, very important when trying to build your physique and perfect it. It is so difficult to do this on little sleep. So, yes, energy and performance. So, appetite regulation. So it's going to also affect your diet if you're not sleeping. So it balances your satiety hormone and your hunger hormone. So yeah, it could lead to overeating and potential fat gain. Sleep consistency. So as with everything, consistency. Maintain the regular sleep schedule, same bedtime and wake up time daily. So this is to stabilize circadian rhythms and improving recovery and energy levels for consistent training and eating. They're all balanced, they're all interconnected, these things, sleeping, training, and eating. Sleep environments. Create a dark, cool 60 to 70 Fahrenheit quiet bedroom to enhance sleep quality, and limit your screen time 1 to 2 hours before bed. Avoid blue light disrupting melatonin production. So consider a night mask and earplugs. I use silicone earplugs, they're fantastic. And I also have blackout curtains here, so no ambient light coming in from the city, and it's very quiet with the earplugs. Pre-sleep routine. We want to wind down with relaxing activities, reading, stretching, and we want to avoid caffeine certainly 4 to 6 hours before bed to ensure deep sleep. So consider magnesium glycinate or L-threonate, GABA, and melatonin. These 4 things are amazing. 3 things rather, the magnesium, GABA, and melatonin. Don't do anything other than magnesium glycinate or L-threonate. They're not as bioavailable as those 2 forms, meaning you're like with the fish oil pills, you're not going to be able to absorb them effectively. GABA and melatonin will help you sleep as well if you have sleep issues. But I think for most people, the magnesium is sufficient. Now basically, right here, just to make sure we went over everything, yes we have. So now we're going to go into my framework here, ladies and gentlemen. So briefly, there are 2 starting points, skinny guys and fat guys. So in both of these starting points, you'll be going through metabolic and hormonal changes. Your body's adapting, you're gaining muscle tissue, and you're gaining testosterone and overall energy levels. So your basal metabolic rate is going to adapt to these massive changes going on. So you have more muscle on your frame, you're going to be burning more calories at a baseline now. A lot of people struggle to understand that, but believe it or not, even if you're gaining weight, you can be burning more calories by simply gaining the size with muscle. It's just how it is. So we'll start with fat guys. So the focus here, of course, is losing fat, gaining muscle. This is a recomp, and losing fat at high amounts, cutting. If you're very overweight, then the main focus here is cutting and gaining some amounts of muscle along with that, but mostly cutting. Caloric deficit, as we went over previously, we would have more emphasis on cardio, so 1 to 2 sessions minimum weekly. So you will gain muscle while fat is lost. And for this, we're going to be aiming for 0.5 to 1 pound a week loss. Now on to skinny guys. The focus here is gaining size and gaining muscle, bulking, and you want to be in a caloric surplus. Once again, there's less emphasis on cardio. And if you gain too much weight in a short amount of time, guys, you will gain visceral fat, and that can be difficult to get rid of in the future, depending on how much weight you gained. So avoid the dirty bulk. And we would aim for 0.5 to 1 pound per week gain. Now, we are diving into the training, the optimal training, formulated after years of training with an integrated powerlifting, bodybuilding, and calisthenics approach. I was forced to create a method that can easily accommodate limited time, frequently changing environments, and overall enjoyment. Quite honestly, this is a versatile method, and it accommodates well to those that must use hotel gyms in which equipment is limited, or if you're simply on the go. Structure. We want to choose a training split that you can adhere to consistently. This is paramount, guys. If a day is missed, it's a total loss. You can't compensate for missed days. So routines, 2 great routines here, upper, lower. This is a 4-day split. If you don't have the time, this is the split for you. Push-pull legs, 6 days. And yet again, even if you don't have the time, this can be great for you. I love to do push-pull legs personally. I time things on my Apple Watch right here. By the time I walk through the door, I set this, and by the time I leave, I set it, and I can get in and out of the gym at that door within 60 minutes on the dot or less, 90% of the time. So I do push-pull legs because I prefer to be in the gym. I like it, it's part of my routine. I have off Sundays, and we'll go into that further on the diet side of things, but on my Sundays, I just go to buffets. I love food. I love it. I'm Italian. I'm gonna enjoy life still, you know? Especially here in Bangkok, there's 5-star buffets everywhere. And I want to go to every single one. So, and we will continue now. So the focus, maximal intensity, guys. This is the most overlooked thing, and we cannot be soft here. We want to hit the gym as powerful as possible. Maximal focus, maximal intensity, 3 to 5 sets, and near failure every single set, or failure. So maximal strength, 3 to 5 minutes rest on compound exercises, and 1 to 2 minutes rest on accessory exercises. So the compound exercises you will always start with, they're the heaviest loaded exercises. For example, bench press, squat, deadlift, pull-up, dip. These we want to focus on 3 to 5 minutes rest. So that way we can get the most out of these sets at the beginning, and then everything else after that, the lighter weight movements, the accessory movements, we 60 to 120 seconds rest on that. Drop sets and supersets, we'll go into that now. So we want to also maximal form. So full range of motion, explosive concentric and controlled eccentric. This is super important. This is optimal. We want to focus on our form. Compound movements, low to moderate rep ranges, 1 to 6 or 5 to 10 reps. Pull-ups, dips, S-tier movements. You can use bands to assist on the way up. I use them present day, and I'm at Olympic level on these lifts, and I still use bands. So use those, implement those bands if you need to. Shoulder press, incline press, barbell squat variation, RDLs, S-tier movements as well. Accessory movements, So typically moderate to high rep ranges, 8 to 12 or 10 to 20. We definitely want to utilize drop sets and supersets to have our intensity up there. And we use cables, lateral raise, face pulls, tricep, bicep, and dumbbell variations of the above. Machine leg curl, machine leg extension, great exercises for the legs accessory wise, and external rotations. This I use as a warm up in all of my upper body days. The external rotation, this guy right here, on a band or on a cable. Very important, injury preventative. And I will emphasize that all of these movements listed here, I use all of these. Like, these are all in my routine right now, and I teach all of my clients the same. So these are highly versatile movements. You can do them. I just did them at the outdoor gym today when I met this Korean guy, and we had quite a nice conversation. But yeah, this is a gym here in Bangkok. This is me doing a T-bar row. I love that. I didn't include that actually, but yeah, I added the picture. So T-bar row is another great one. And this is the cable face pull right here. And let's dive into the optimal dieting. So this is also formulated after years of training while shifting environments and countries, like I mentioned before. So time is valuable, and this accommodates everybody, including those who prepare food at home and those who must order food at restaurants. So the structure here, exactly like training, you want to choose a diet that you can be consistent with. You can't compensate for missed meals or binging. Exactly like our training, we can't compensate for these things, right? The damage is done. So macronutrient profile, we just move on. The damage is done, and we just move on to the next day, and progress continues, and you continue to make gains. Macronutrient profile, we want high protein, 1 gram per pound of body weight. Moderate carbohydrates, 40 to 60% of total calories. Low to moderate fats, 20 to 30% of total calories. This can all be done in the app. MyFitnessPal, you can incorporate, take photos of your food, research your food, put it in there. You find your TDEE like we mentioned before, and you can add all these foods into that, and it'll tell you their macronutrient profiles. The focus, so we consume whole foods. Beef, chicken, eggs, fish, rice, potato. We want to strictly avoid inflammatory foods, processed food drinks, sugary foods drinks, seed oils, they're toxic and poisonous. Milk we're not babies. We don't need to be ripping ass all day long. And soy, I don't need to explain soy. So this will minimize bloating and insulin spikes while maximizing energy and recovery. So foods to prepare at home, this is my S tier list. Any choice of sauce, steak with potato or sweet potato, chicken thighs with eggs with avocado, my personal favorite right now, ground beef with rice or tortilla, salmon with rice, yogurt with oats, it's great to start the day, cream of rice with almond butter with honey, and sardines, once again, wild caught. So foods to order at restaurants, as I was saying, being consistent is important. You can be consistent at home, preparing food at home like I do 6 days a week, and you can also be consistent eating out. You just have to have the framework as given here, knowing what to order. So, and when I do have the buffets on Sunday, I'm not letting shit hit the fan. I'm not eating pizzas and ice cream and ridiculous amounts. I'm ordering whole foods of high quality and eating them in high amounts. So let's dive into the foods to order at restaurants. So any of the above variation, as I mentioned, and burrito with beef or chicken, this is Spanish, avoid beans. Udon with eggs or beef, this is Asian, we want to avoid fried rice. Burger with mashed potato, this is American, we want to avoid fries. Salmon with roasted potatoes is Italian, we want to avoid pastas. And lamb with rice is Indian, we want to avoid lentils and legumes. And guys, that is my method. That is everything that you need to know from the dieting side to the trading side to the sleep side. And whether or not you're starting out as a fat guy or a skinny guy, it can be done either way and flawlessly. I'll also end this by saying that my grandfather had a similar approach and took it to his grave until the age of 95. And I will do the same thing. I will always continue to perfect this and improve it in every area that I possibly can. When more money comes in, I'll invest more money into the best things that come out, the new innovative things, and all that. But I'll always stay natural, and I'll always stick to these fundamentals in this framework. And I look forward to continuing to change people's lives with it. So, with that being said, guys, if you're someone that's interested in really changing their life, then feel free to book a call. I have a link in the description. Click the link, and I look forward to chatting with you then. Take care, guys.